The Suncoast Campaign for Grade Level Reading presents This Book is Cool. With your host, Beth Duda. Coming up, Miss Beth will have a special arts activity, words to put in your word bank, and a special interview with a person who thinks the book you are reading is cool.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to This Book is Cool. My name is Beth Duda, and I'm the director of the Suncoast Campaign for Grade Level Reading. Today, we have a really interesting book. It's called Wax to Crayons, and it teaches us how wax actually becomes crayons. We have a special guest with us to talk to us about why she thinks this book is cool. With us today from the Early Learning Coalition of Sarasota County, we have Brigid Kolowith. Hi, Brigid.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful to see you, and I'm excited to talk about this book. I was fascinated. I learned so many new things. Why do you think this book is cool?
Well, I like this book because it taught me how to make something that most people have in their house but never really wonder about: crayons. Essentially, wax is transformed into crayons.
Isn't that interesting? You know, I see crayons all the time. I use crayons. I color with crayons, but I don't think that I've ever thought about how crayons were made. And so many crayons are made that, you know, it's not just a little project, it's a huge factory where they make crayons. It's really interesting.
Really cool that this book is nonfiction. This is the real process used to make crayons.
The illustrations that sometimes we see in picture books and fiction books are great. And I love seeing all that different kind of artwork, but the way they told the story in this book was fascinating as well.
You know, I loved that this book used the real photos of the process of making the crayon.
It gave me insight that I didn't have before. So I felt a little bit smarter after I read this book, which is always great. They do it.
Right. I really enjoyed the part where they poured the color wax into the molds. It's really fun to imagine really unusual molds that can make crayons into crazy shapes.
That's very true. You know, we're used to a certain shape that crayons have, but we learned through this process that you can melt crayons down and you can make them into different shapes. In fact, the activity that we're going to do a little bit later today is going to be exactly that. We're going to take some old crayons and melt them and make them into new shapes. And I just love that this book helped us to learn how we could do something new like that.
I have a crayon that I made right here with me. It's a fish.
You did great. That's adorable. Very nice. So, Brigid, this got me thinking about all of the different colors of crayons that they make and imagining all of the different big vats full of different colors of wax. And it made me think about my favorite color of crayon. What's your favorite color crayon?
My favorite color is yellow. I love how it's so bright and cheerful. And every single time that I color with yellow or I see somebody else coloring with yellow, it just brightens my day.
That's a great answer. I like yellow and I like purple, and I like yellow and purple together. So our favorite colors complement each other. And well, Brigid, I'd like to ask you just one more question. How did you develop a love of reading?
Oh, I remember reading with my parents every single night and just enjoyed that time where we'd be able to sit on a couch and read a book. And really, I love books because it can take us to anywhere in the world, places that we've never been before. And that right there is really powerful.
And I know with the Early Learning Coalition of Sarasota County, one of the very cool things that you have done and your organization has done is you've shared books with thousands and thousands and thousands of children. That is so cool.
It is pretty cool. It's amazing to come here every single day and think of a new possibility to get more books out to children, and we really love that.
We do too. We have something in common. We are sharing books with all of the children in our community, and I think we'll both continue to do that.
Absolutely, Beth.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Beth.
Thank you, Brigid. Now, you may have noticed that we're in a different location, and it's because I have something very special I want to share with you. But first, we've got some great words for our word bank. The first word for our word bank is the word crayon. Crayon. A crayon is a colored wax stick used for drawing or coloring. The next word for our word bank is the word wax. Wax. Wax is a substance that's made from fat or oils. The next word for our word bank is the word mold. Mold. A mold is a hollow container that you can pour liquid into that will set that liquid into a shape. The next word for our word bank is the word label. Label. Labels are pieces of paper that are attached to something that give information. And our last word for the word bank is melts. Melts. That means something going from a solid to a liquid. Melts. You may have noticed that I have a piece of art over my shoulder. It's something that I created out of crayons. I have always loved the way that crayons look, especially when they're brand new, right out of the box, and they all are pointed. And one day, I got a box of crayons from my friend Julia, and I started laying them all out. And I created this pattern. And I loved it so much that I had it framed, and now it's hanging in my house. And I have to tell you, every day it makes me smile. My activity used new crayons, but the activity you're going to do is going to use old crayons. Now, you're going to need an adult to help you with this activity. Now, the first thing, you're going to ask the adult to preheat your oven to 300 degrees. To preheat an oven means you turn it on and you let it get up to the temperature you need it to be. That will take a few minutes. While your oven is preheating, you can peel the labels off your crayons. And then you might even want to break them into some smaller pieces. And you're going to put those pieces into an oven-safe mold. I used a muffin tin. You could use a silicone mold if you wanted to. Then you're going to put all of your broken, unwrapped crayons into your mold and put them into your preheated oven for 20 minutes. You're going to wait that 20 minutes, and when your timer goes off, you're going to take those crayons out of the oven and they're going to be melted. They're all melted together. And then you have to be patient and wait again, because those melted crayons are going to turn back into solid, and that's when we're going to do our activity. So you can see how we've gone from a liquid to now it's solid. Now, we're going to test and make sure that they're not hot, and they're not. They've all cooled down. So now we can take them out of our mold. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a little tougher than I thought. Oh, that one leaked. So I can peel it out of my mold, and you can see now I have a solid multicolored crayon. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's see how this one did. So I'm going to peel back my tin foil. Look at that one. Isn't that neat? We can create a piece of art using our new multicolored crayon. Now I have a scratch pad here, and I have a couple of leaves that I found when I was on my walk today. So I'm going to take these leaves and I'm going to put them underneath the piece of paper. and then I'm going to close the paper back over them. And then using my multicolored crayon, I'm going to do a rubbing. So I'm going to rub my multicolored crayon over the paper, and look, the leaf kind of magically appears. Let's see what happens with the next one. And look at how much detail we can see with the leaf. We can see the veins and the stem that runs through. And then if I wanted to do even more, I could move the leaves and maybe turn them over and see if that would be different. And then I could use another part of my crayon to see perhaps if there's different colors that would come out. So, ooh, look at this one, nice and yellow. It's orange and yellow, that's very pretty. Let's turn it again. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, this one's darker orange. Oh, there's the leaf. Wow. Look at that. That is so, ooh, look. I really like that. I'm going to try my other crayon now and just see if the colors are a little bit different there. So I've got them right here. Oh, look. Oh, and look how I've kind of overlaid them. I may continue to move the leaves around and make a huge pattern, but you can create any kind of pattern you want. And if you do, I hope you'll take a picture of it and send it to us. You can send it to connect@grade-level-reading-suncoast.net. It was wonderful to have Brigid with us today talking about how crayons are made, and it was wonderful spending time with you right here in my house. I'm so glad you got to see my favorite piece of crayon art. I look forward to seeing your favorite piece of crayon art. All right, remember, reading is the key to succeeding. Until we meet again, my friends, bye for now.